Welcome back, dear students. Today we are going to take a very important unit of our syllabus, named as Ecology and Environment. First of all, we are going to discuss the fundamental principles of ecology. There are two basic principles of ecology. The first one says that life on Earth is possible only due to presence of air, water, and soil. Second one says that there is interdependence and interaction of living organisms with other living organisms and with the environment. Now, why the field of ecology came into being? What is the importance of undertaking ecological investigations? There are a number of reasons for undertaking ecological investigations, or you can simply say that the importance of ecology lies there for a number of reasons. Okay, the first reason says that for a better understanding of natural systems and finding appropriate solutions to environmental issues, a person should be well equipped. He should have a sound knowledge of ecological principles. Okay, so for understanding the natural systems, and if you wish to find appropriate solutions to the environmental issues, you should be having a very strong ecological background. This can be understood in the form of an analogy. First of all, let me tell you, there is a misconception that ecology and environmental sciences, they are the same thing. Okay, actually they are two different aspects. They are two different fields. You can simply say that ecology is not same as environmental science. The analogy goes like this: ecology is to environmental science as physics is to engineering. Just as the concepts of physics are used by engineers in their field, okay, same is the case with ecology. The concepts, the laws, the principles of ecology, they are used by environmental scientists uh, to address the environmental issues. Okay, so in a nutshell, you can say that ecology provides a theoretical framework for understanding, or you can say for addressing the environmental ills. Okay, now how can we define ecology? Ecology as a discipline is defined as the study of interactions among organisms and between organisms and their environment. For example, this is organism A. How does this organism interact with another organism B, and how at the same time it interacts with its physical environment? So, the main intention of ecologists is to understand the interactions among organisms and the interactions of organisms with the physical environment. Okay, so it is clear that there are two types of interactions: biotic interactions and abiotic interactions. Biotic interactions means those interactions which occur among living organisms, and abiotic interactions are those interactions that happen between the organisms and their physical environment. Now, these two types of interactions, they are very much important, and they govern some important aspects. These aspects include the densities of the population densities of plants, animals, and other living organisms. They are dependent on the types of interactions organisms show among themselves as well as with the physical environment. Second, the number of species in an area. That means the species richness of an area. How many different types of plants, animals, microbes will be present in an area? It is dependent upon the types of interactions organisms show among themselves as well as with their environment. Now, the origin of the word ecology, it is derived from two Greek words: eikos, which means household, and logos, which means the study of. So the literal meaning of ecology is study of organisms at their home. The term was for the first time introduced by a German biologist, Ernest Haeckel, in the year 1869. Okay. Now, the scale of ecological studies. The ecological studies, They range in scale from individual organisms through populations to biological communities and ecosystems. That means ecological investigations can be you can undertake ecological investigations at the level of organisms, single organism. Then you can undertake ecological investigations at the level of populations, at the level of communities, at the level of ecosystems. Now, it is necessary for us, it is very much essential for us to understand the meaning of these terms. Okay, first of all, uh, let's look at this hierarchy of ecological studies. You can undertake ecological investigations at the level of organism, at the level of populations, at the level of communities, ecosystems, and even you can study ecological investigations at the level of biosphere. Biosphere means you can study you can say that the whole earth, it is a single large, you can say giant ecosystem, which is known as biosphere. Okay, now this is the hierarchy: organism, population, community, ecosystem, landscape, biome, and biosphere. We are required to understand all these terms one by one. First of all, let's take the organism. Organism is a self-reproducing system which is capable of growing and maintaining itself, and this self-perpetuating or self-supporting system, it is influenced directly by the surrounding environment. Okay, now the next term in series is population. It is an assemblage of similar organisms belonging to the same species which live together at a place at a given time. A number of individuals of the same species which are present at the same place at a particular time period, they constitute a population. For example, you have the population of cats at a place, population of dogs at a place. Okay, number of individuals of dogs at a particular place at a particular time period, they constitute the dog population of that area. Now, species, how can we define species? Species basically represents a group of organisms which can interbreed and produce a fertile offspring. For example, we have two individuals here, two organisms. If they are capable of interbreeding and they produce a fertile offspring, these two organisms, they belong to the same species. There is one more case. For example, these two individuals, they interbreed and produce an offspring, but this offspring is not fertile. Okay, it is sterile. At that time, you cannot say that these two individuals, they belong to the same species. This is very much important. For a species, for two individuals to be considered as belonging to the same species, they should interbreed and produce the offsprings which are fertile. Now, the individuals of a species, they are not all present at the same place. They are separated in space and time into smaller groups which are called as populations. For example, you have the dogs as a species. These dogs, they are not all present at the same place. Okay, they are separated in space and time into smaller groups which are called as populations. For example, dog population of district A, dog population of district B, and dog population of district C. Okay, although they belong to the same species, these individuals, and these individuals, they can interbreed and produce fertile offsprings, but they are separated in time and space, and you have different populations. Now, what is a biological community? Biological community can be defined as populations of different species which occupy a common place of living. You have populations of different species, but these populations of different species, they occupy a common place of living. At that time, you can call it a biological community. For example, all the living organisms in a pond, they belong to one community. Here you can see this is population of one species, population of another species, population of third species, so on and so forth. All these populations, okay, they together constitute a biological community. Now, what is an ecosystem? Ecosystem simply means the biological community along with its non-living physical environment. You are having a biological community population of this species, population of this species, population of this species, all the populations and the biology, physical environment, they constitute the ecosystem. Okay, and the ecosystems, they range in size. A single puddle of water acts as an ecosystem. Similarly, a stream acts as an ecosystem, or you can say a small patch of wood, it is an ecosystem, or the entire forest, it is an ecosystem, and the deserts, okay, large huge vast areas of deserts, they are the ecosystems. Okay, so the size of ecosystems, it varies greatly. Now, what is a landscape? Landscape simply means an assemblage of different ecosystems. Okay, you are having a number of ecosystems, and these ecosystems, they are having different physical environments and the inhabiting species. Each ecosystem possesses a different environment and a different set of flora and fauna. Okay, so a number of ecosystems, or you can say an assemblage of different ecosystems, they form a landscape. Now, what is a biome? It is a region of earth having specific climatic conditions and characteristic flora and fauna. It is a vast region of earth which is characterized by its own specific climatic condition and specific plants and animals. For example, we have alpine biomes, which are also known as tundra. Alpines are specific in terms of their climate. They have their own climatic conditions, and they possess their own plant species and animal species. Same is the case with coniferous forests, which are also known as taiga. They are unique in terms of their climatic conditions and the flora and fauna. And likewise, we have tropical grasslands, also known as savanna. These are unique. They are different from the rest of the world in terms of its climatic conditions and the characteristic flora and fauna. And then finally, we have the biosphere. It is a thin layer on and around the earth which sustains life. And this biosphere, it has three physical components: atmosphere, lithosphere, and hydrosphere. Now, presently, a more commonly used term is used. There is a term which is known as ecosphere. It is more commonly used, and it denotes the biosphere along with its three physical or abiotic components. It is more commonly used. Currently, this term is used, okay, and it denotes the biosphere along with its three physical or abiotic components. So, the ecosphere is basically an aggregate of biosphere and three physical components like lithosphere, atmosphere, and hydrosphere. So, this is all about the concept of ecology, or you can say how we can undertake ecological investigations ranging from organisms up to the biosphere or ecosphere level. Okay, this is all for today. See you soon with a new lesson. Till then, take care and stay blessed.